As the British people has decided, Brexit it is, the consequences on the United Kingdom economy are twofold. The first one would be on the economic side. It's probable that next year we will have to face a recession, a sharp recession, a rebound in unemployment rate, and of course, consequences in terms of higher inflation related to the fall in the GDP we have this morning. The second major impact will be on the political side. Mr. Cameron has already mentioned that he will remain a Prime Minister until October, and after it will be to the Conservative Party to design a new Prime Minister or to nominate a new Prime Minister to lead the negotiations with the EU regarding the Brexit. The Bank of England has already mentioned that it will be ready to deliver all the liquidity the banks need at this point of time, and probably next week we will see some easing in terms of its interest rates policy. The consequences on the Eurozone will be limited on the economic front, but will be far more important in terms of the political situation. On the economic side, the negative impact of the Brexit should be limited roughly minus 0.2, minus half a point in the growth we would expect for next year, that is to say something around 1% or 1.3%. But the political consequences are far more important. Of course, because we have to follow a very busy political timing and schedule in Europe. We have the Spanish election, we have an Italian referendum in September, and after we have also a referendum in Netherlands. And of course, anti-EU protesters will gain some voices after the Brexit and the developments we have seen in the United Kingdom. What are the consequences of this Brexit for the world economy? We have already seen that several central banks have made specific speeches. We have seen the BOJ, and we have seen an official comment coming from the Swiss National Bank that it has intervened in the market. And of course, probably the ECB will make some comments and will probably ready to deliver more liquidity if it's needed. In addition to the reaction of the central banks, we will probably see in the coming days officials coming and communicate about the consequences of Brexit at the G7 level, and of course at each government in the major country within the Eurozone, particularly in France and probably in Germany. With all the reaction from the political side and the reactions coming from the central banks, the global impact of the Brexit and the world economy should remain limited. That is to say, not to enter in a kind of systemic risk or in a kind of a Lehman event. But of course, the consequences on the medium term for the world economy could be important in terms of protectionism and of course of anti-globalization sentiment across the region.